Once there was a beautiful verdant green island. It had forests filled with huge trees, waterfalls gushing with clear blue water, and mountains where there was a quarry of a unique kind of stone. This stone was valued for its attractive white color. It was also easy to turn into sculptures. The island had been ruled for years by a king who was now old. He looked after his people well and loved the natural beauty of his land above all. His closest friend was a sculptor called Samar. Samar too loved the land more than anything else. He had a school where students from far and wide came to learn the art of creating sculptures out of stone. But Samar had one odd condition for the students who studied in his school. He insisted they bring their own supply of stone. Only for their final sculpture were they allowed to use a piece of stone from the island's quarry. Many grumbled at this rule. After all, dragging tons of stone to an island in the middle of a sea was difficult, but Samar was adamant. Once the king asked him the reason for this condition, and this is what wise old Samar had to say. This stone and indeed everything on this remarkable land of ours is a gift which we need to preserve. Unless we use it wisely, how will we be able to save this quarry for our children? If we start using the stones and woods from trees without a thought, they will soon finish, and then we will be left with an empty, barren land. This is why I insist that students learning the craft of sculpting bring their own material, and only when they make their final piece of art can they use this unique stone from our land. The king applauded this thought in his mind and let Samar run his school the way he wanted. But then a day came when the king, now very old, died and his son took over the throne. Raj Singh, the new king, wanted to do everything differently from his father. He started changing many laws. One day he remembered the art school and went to visit it. There he saw the students working on their sculptures. But his ministers whispered to him the complaints that other students who had not wanted to bring their own material had made about Samar's rule. Raj Singh realized that if he lifted the rule, then many more people would come to study in the school. Their fees would add to the prosperity of the island, and in addition, they would create lovely works of art that could be used to beautify the towns. He ordered Samar to step down as the teacher and brought someone else to run the school. Soon, the island was full of students chipping away on the stone. Their demands increased the mining at the quarry. They created large sculptures which now needed to get transported back to the town. Trees were cut down to make carts and to clear roads. New houses were not strong as both wood and stone were scarce. It was difficult for farmers to make good plows, and so farming suffered. All the mining created so much of pollution that plants started dying out. Diseases spread and the tinkling waterfalls fell silent as water became scarce. The climate changed. It became hotter and drier. Soon there were famines and the once beautiful green island was reduced to a wasteland of weeds and scrub. Raj Singh's wishes of lining his capital city and palace with giant sculptures was fulfilled. Each student in the art school made a beautiful huge statue and gifted it to him. Soon these statues filled up the entire kingdom. Where once there were deep forests and blue rivers and streams, the island was a barren land now. The forests were gone. The rivers had turned into dirty trickles of water. The climate had become hot and dusty as the rains no longer came on time. People started leaving the island. The houses, schools, and palaces slowly fell silent as they were abandoned. With time, everyone forgot about this island. Many years later, when explorers landed here, they found hundreds of statues strewn all over a bare island, a land destroyed by the king's greed. Friends, this story tells us how human greed affects Mother Nature and how it will affect us indirectly. We need to make minimum use of natural resources, preserve them to use it for longer run, and pass it on to our next generation. It is our responsibility towards the next generation to give them a happy, healthy, and green environment. Friends, I strongly believe that COVID-19 is collective karma of humankind. We have abused Mother Earth by cutting trees, using plastic, and using more and more harmful chemicals. Human greed has taken over Mother Nature, and COVID is reflection of our deeds. But we can again start caring for Mother Nature by planting more trees, taking care of them until they grow big, using no plastic, carrying a cloth bag. Don't gift wrap the gifts, use leftover pages of every notebook, buy used books. And trust me, these small steps from every person will definitely lead to the bigger change. I do this all. Will you?